Greetings, everyone. Nate the Nerdarch here from Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds, and we are doing episode 3, part 2 of my Hold of the Moridanes campaign, which is pay to play. If you want any more information on that, you can contact me at natethenerdarch@gmail.com. And with me I have 5 stalwart adventurers.
Hi, I'm playing Silverthorn, a wild elf female ranger.
Hello, I'm Erevan Fireforge, playing a half-elf sorcerer.
Kine Duaden, Dwarven fighter at your service.
I'm playing Gambit Fireshine, a nature cleric, forest gnome.
I'm playing Bard, a cleric of, or a half-elf cleric of life / Bard.
All right, where we left off, you had all just routed the bandits, sent one of them running, tracked him back, and defeated him at the base, where he foolishly ran back to. You also captured one, Edwin, who is still alive, and he wishes to not be dead, so he is willing to go along with whatever crazy plans you've got going. And right now, he is currently burying his friends, supposedly, at the campsite or around the area, and watching the rest of the gear from his companions. Well, his former companions. Awaiting your return. You have come upon a boarded up section of a cave entrance that has a door on it, as if they kind of made the door jamb, made sections of the wall, and then fit it. It was, crafted specifically for this cave entrance. And it's open because Erevan swiftly caught up to Penn, who was running away, and he was slain in the attempt to try and close the actual door to the outpost there. And Gambit has taken a peek inside. There is now everybody is there. You now know that there is a curving staircase about 15 feet ahead that curves to the right and down. And there's also a door to your right.
Yeah, well, while we're waiting for the rest of the people to come up, I'll turn back over to Erevan. Is he still blue?
I don't turn blue, but when I do things like that, I glow while I'm doing that, and then it goes away, so I'm not right now.
I'll just look at him closely.
He did go blue and shoot a bolt of something towards Penn, and you definitely saw that.
But he's not blue at the moment.
No, he's not blue at the moment.
Silverthorn just looks at him head to toe a couple of times, shakes her head. He must have been imagining things.
Is there just kind of look around here and see if there's any other obvious tracks around, anything that I see, maybe a clue on what's going on here or anything?
You actually see, I don't know. Make a roll.
Perception check, 17.
All right. You do see that the area around this outcropping of rock, where the cave entrance is, has a lot of traffic along the one side, to the right, as well as towards the door.
Okay. Is there any tracks of those method things that we saw?
You do see some of those tracks. And they don't come to the front door. It looks like they kind of trail down towards where you all walked. Where you all ran from. And it looks like they are never come actually to the door as you're looking around the area. That's what you see. They follow along the tree line. If you want to follow them further, you could.
I'm just going to point them out to the rest of them while we're waiting too. So that's what I was doing, waiting.
So you guys having any trouble killing off the last of those guys back at the campsite?
Are all of us there?
Yes, you guys have arrived.
Oh, we've arrived. Okay, I wasn't clear on whether or not we'd made it there yet. I thought they were waiting on us.
Well, we were, but you're there now.
Gotcha. Well, I guess depends on how you look at it. We took the last one prisoner, but we found out a thing or two. Bard, you want to let him know what the guy told under your juice spell?
Well, we were finding out that they have a boss up here. Apparently, this has basement levels, and his name is Asen. And right now, we've got the guy burying his friends and convinced to see his ear of his ways. So he's probably not going to be any problem.
Told him I'd get him a new job. Oh, and apparently in the basement levels, they're like either mining more of this crystal stuff, or there's a way to make it, or something. But the other interesting thing is that apparently these bandits and the boss gave some of these crystal things, which, by the way, we found 3 whole ones. Turns out that these bandits gave some of these to a fey lady. Who do you think that might be now? So she knew fairly well who was doing what. So,
Well, yeah, she told us that they gave it to her.
did she tell us that?
Yeah, and she claimed that she didn't want to have anything to do with them.
Well, apparently she didn't give them back.
I cannot say that her claims could be entirely truthful. You never know with the Fae.
Apparently not.
Mm.
So anyway, there's going to be someone down there that can do stuff with this crystal. So watch our steps. All right, let's kick this pig.
Well,
Check the room on the right.
Can I ask you a question? Like, what time of night is it? Since we hiked all day, went up here, it's at night. How late is it now?
You would normally be setting down for camp right now.
See,
Okay.
and normally, again, that's not a question you ask Nate. We keep.
Well, I was just wondering how tired my character was. That's all.
You would
Again,
be
But
normally.
the other bugger's inside to be asleep as well, I'd say.
Yeah.
Again, previous comment.
You would normally be sitting down for rest right now, but it's not going to affect you as of yet. Maybe if you stayed up all night into the next day.
If you bring that up as a concern, Kanae's answer would be, well, we've knocked out all the sentries. Chances are they're going to probably notice that before morning. If we're going in and want supplies, now would be the time.
I agree. I was just asking what time it was.
It's dark.
I'm not actually in the situation that we're playing. So,
Well, if we're in a situation, there's adrenaline.
I see.
You just sprinted 2,000 miles to catch up to this dude.
Some exaggerations included.
I give the truth scope.
All right.
All right, so Bard, you want to check the door to the right?
Yeah, for any traps or anything, like if we go in before going down there, check it.
Are you skilled in the way of trap checking, or are you just going to kind of give it a once-over with investigate?
Yeah, I guess I could investigate it.
Okay.
I'm watching down the stairwell that's going down.
All right. You do not. It's pretty quiet, except for your small chatter. You don't hear anything.
All right.
Oh,
I got a 19 on investigate.
All right. The door is clear.
Do I hear any sound behind it or anything, or is it?
No, you do not hear any sound behind it.
I looked at Kenny and asked if he'd like to go in first.
Well, that's mighty kind of you. I suppose I will. I've got the shield and all. Let's see. Well, the poor lad didn't know how many other guards they had, so let's find out. And as quietly as I jingly can, I'll turn the knob, pull the latch, whatever it is, try to open the door and go in expecting trouble.
Excuse me. Inside, you find a darkened room. There are cylinders on counters and other things about. There are implements dangling from hooks. It looks to be a kitchen.
No, it is a bit late. I'm in on my peckish.
Wow.
There's cabinetry, and also it looks like there is a door slightly ajar to the back, and you smell some cheese and other things emanating from the back there.
Ooh.
Shrubbery! Oh, no. Sorry.
How about some jerky? Okay, this stuff will keep. Just the kitchen odds. Let's go. Let's go downstairs and spoil the party.
Anybody else want to rummage? Or do you want to head down the stairs?
I might check the back room just to see what's in there.
Okay. Well, you pass back by the counters and the cabinetry, and in the back room there is hanging dried meats and other things, and it looks like kind of like your normal larder of food and things for, maybe 5-10 people max, or a smaller group of people for a longer period of time.
Well, when we're all done with these bastards, we'll know when to make a good supper when we're done.
They'll come back and celebrate in their kitchen.
That's right.
Well, how much food did you say was back there? 5, maybe for 5 to 10 or fewer?
5 to 10 people or fewer if it was going to be for a longer stay.
Well, we've dealt with 4.
And it is the fall.
And we've dealt with 4. We know there's the boss. So we kind of have an idea of how many more we could expect. All right. Does anyone else want to go first down the stairs, or do you want me to? I'm not quiet, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah, but we are underground, and you're a dwarf and all.
Okay, so I'm volunteered. I understand. Fine, I'll just jingle my way down there then. All right, I'll head down. As quietly as I can, I will head down the stairs.
And since I'm the second fighter type, I'll follow behind Kenny unless somebody else wants to go forward.
I'd like to stay within 5 feet of Kenny.
How wide are the stairs?
Excuse me. You could probably travel, I would say one at a time, because it's like a spiral along the, and it opens up into another level below. It looks like there was your dwarven senses are tingling. You know that the interior construction is all wooden, but it most likely was a large hollowed out area.
It's like a mine.
It could have been an old mine, and they just simply looked like they just cut rough timbers to make the different floors.
All right. Are there any other doors or ways to go on this level, or does it just keep going down?
As you go to the first basement here, you see that it opens up into a large room. That large room has it's actually empty aside from some like knapsacks and other things on one side of the wall, and there's some older kind of junky weapons and things.
I have no other, just the one room.
It's quite okay. Another thing is it's about 30 feet across.
Okay, but we can see the entire expanse.
Yeah, you can see the entirety of the area, and you see that there is a staircase on the other side opposite to you.
Okay.
When we get to the big room, I'd like to slide off to the left.
Well,
Okay.
I'm thinking that this is going to be a way up and a way down from whatever's below, and I don't see anybody else up here, so if it were me, I'd keep moving so we take out the boss guy, and then we can, if there's anything else left, we'll mop that up.
I understood it to be a 30-foot wide room we had to cross.
Oh, I thought this stairway right here kept going down.
Oh, you've got a cross, and then the stairway continues.
Okay, then we'll go toward that.
It's kind of, you got this circular area, and then there's a stairwell here and a stairwell here.
Gotcha. Okay, I understand. Yeah, let's move toward that other stairwell. My bad.
So it's only like 10 feet to the next stairwell, and then that starts to head down.
As we're moving across the room, I'd like to look down at Gambit and Grin and ask him what he thinks of the knapsacks.
It's been bugging me. You said there were some sacks in the corner.
Yes, there was.
Well, yeah.
Just slice one open as I go by. tip of my pick just to see if anything falls out of interest.
Okay. Well, that one seems to have had some kind of granary or other things in it.
More food.
So you kind of like cut into it a little bit. You're like, oh, it's like seeds and things. You're like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
You want to continue down?
Can we do like an investigation as we move down, looking for like tripwires and traps?
Oh yeah, sure.
We need to keep rolling for that, or is that what we can use it passive?
You go down and you don't see anything, but you do notice that there is a door halfway down this stairwell, unlike the other side. The door is locked.
Yeah.
Well, when we get to
Are we
that,
still trying to be quiet, guys, or?
As much as we can with chainmail people.
nod my head.
I'm just saying, does anybody have thieves' tools on them? Or?
Yeah, I hold up my axe.
That's what I'm saying. And I brandish my weapon as well.
Listen to the door. So sounds on the other side.
You hear the crackling of fire.
Ooh.
And you also hear, well, it's more distant, but you hear like a hammering or a donging sound, like something like reverberating against stone, reverberating against metal. But that's kind of like a deeper sound. It's not rhythmic or anything.
Can we peek through the keyhole?
You can. Would you like to?
What
Bard, you're going to do that?
Sure.
Okay. Bard, you see as much as you can out of the small range of vision that the keyhole gives you. You see what seems to be you think to be an alchemist set, some kind of laboratory work being done, and you also see books and other things kind of stacked about the place, kind of haphazard. Off in the far corner, there is a desk, but you can't see the full range of the room. You just see that.
Do I recognize any of the books, or are they too far away?
They don't have titles that you can read from this distance.
All right, I'll let the group know it looks like an alchemist laboratory, and about the desk and the chemicals and stuff.
Do we get to it through that door, or can we go down and get in?
That's the door you'd have to go through to get further down. You assume that because you're not at the bottom where rocks are, that there must be some lower places to it. And you hear a shout. Pen, is that you, you idiot? Stop screwing around by the door. Go off and go back to where you're supposed to be, guarding. I've got work to do here.
I knock on the door.
Where's the shout? Shout is on the other side of the door, Nate?
Yeah, you hear it through the door.
Okay.
And I knock on the door.
Oh, you knock on the door?
I move to the side so that in case someone actually opens it, then we can.
Well, I'll take the other side.
Okay. Bart, are you still looking through the keyhole, or you decided to at the shop?
I've slipped back behind the group now. I'm standing in the back.
All right. You hear in a kind of questioning voice, "It sounds like you're all here. What are you?" And then it kind of just trails off.
I knock again twice.
Can I do minor illusion to make an illusion of Pen at the door?
You haven't really had a good look at Pen living.
I'll make it best corpse Pen then.
So you hear a thump as a latch comes down. So I think someone's decided to better side of caution, from what you can understand. Like,
Shoot.
Who's out there? That is not the knock I'm expecting.
I look around at the group.
Did I get a look at Penn?
No, you didn't. You didn't get a really good look at Penn. You were getting shot at with...
I'm going to try a performance, since I heard him yelp a couple times when he got shot with the arrows.
Okay.
Oh, you did hear it. You heard him talk.
Yeah, you did.
So I'll do the body, you do the voice.
I got a 23.
Wow.
Nice.
Damn. And the Oscar goes to...
All right. So you got a 23. So you do a decent job of mimicking his voice. I mean, it's through wood and everything like that, so really, how's he going to know? He goes, Pen, is that you? Who's with you? You got way too many people with you. And I don't remember you all wearing so much metal clanging back there. He goes, why aren't you at your post? I want you to get back to your post, you fool idiot. All you have to do is I pay you for a simple job, and you don't even do it. I've got my own problems down in the basement to deal with, unless you want to go help down in the basement.
Tell him he needs to come out and see this. Roger's found something.
God. So, you hear a latch. Did you do the illusion, Gambit?
I have the illusion going of Pen on the other side of the door.
Okay. That's not going to obscure the rest of you, just to let you know.
We should get Silverthorn out of the way, though.
That's why I'm off to the side. So
Yeah,
I'm hiding around the side as well.
Quietly back up the stairs.
Okay. You quietly back up the stairs. He opens, you hear a, latch open. And you see
door
him...
open in or out?
Well, he's not actually opening the door. There's a little porthole. Look. He opens it and sees a very still Pen. What are you staring at me like that, you fool? You said you had something for me.
It's terrifying. You have to come see it. I'm so terrified I can't even move.
and Bard said it with a straight face.
I'm going to have to throw this die away.
That was good.
I'm sorry. All right. He looks at, and you can't. Well, wait. You guys aren't right there because you're trying to hide off to the side. Goes.
Yep.
Where is the rest of your crew? You just were here, right? I just heard you.
They got scared and ran away. We could really use your help here, boss. We don't know what to do.
Well, unless the place is burning down, you're just going to have to deal with it. That's what I'm paying you for, you dang fool.
How big is that porthole thing?
You know the places that they open to look out like a gate, and there's those bars.
Right. Well, are there bars, or is it just an opening?
There's those that grate kind of look on on your side.
So one couldn't jam their arm through there then.
You could not jam your arm through, but maybe if you were tinier, like a halfling, you probably could.
I'll work on that.
How about
Just
an arrow?
the effect might fit, though.
Can I go ahead and cast Prestidigitation and make it smell like smoke? And go, boss, we have a problem.
Wow.
You can cast Prestidigitation.
I'm going to do that and have a waft of smoke go towards the thing and go, boss, things are starting to get out of hand. We have a problem over here.
I'll try to enhance this with Thermatology.
Wow, you guys are really working this. All right. He goes, are you serious? There's a fire? This is outrageous. What are you guys doing? Burning food upstairs? He closes the port. He goes, I've got to get all this stuff together and get out of here. You dang fool, don't get killed in this. I'm not paying any of your widows. And you hear him quickly shuffling things around in the office area.
I yelled to the door, if he lets us in, we can help him move the stuff quicker.
You need to go put out the fire that you caused. I'm sure you caused it. Dang fool. And you hear him, he continues to shout at you through the doorway. That he cannot believe, your level of incompetence, your level of tomfoolery. You're always screwing around, playing around with fires.
Well, he's eventually going to have to come out.
That's why we just wait.
So he is giving you a tongue lashing for a good minute while he's packing up his stuff. he yells. He's like, well, you probably can't even hear me, but I'm going to be going out the other entrance. We'll see what kind of damage you've done. You know, I'm gonna throw you down into this pit after the fire is gone, and you're gonna get back the things I need.
As he says that, I look around at everybody.
Let's just wait and listen for him to leave then.
Okay.
We don't want him to leave.
I look at Kenny, I look at his axe, I look at the door, and I nod.
I say wait and tell Silverthorn to go start a fire in the kitchen so he actually has a distraction.
That's going to take well, I can't say that out loud.
They're too far away.
Silverthorn thinks about that for a second, and then she moves upstairs quietly until she's about 60 feet away, then she'll run.
Attempting to burn down a second building, achievement unlocked.
And of course, Silverthorn is not thinking that then there'll be a fire between us and the only exit we know of, but she's not thinking of that.
He said he's going to go out the side entrance.
You're just getting that supper started for us, that's all.
It's incentive to find the other one, but how will I know when to chop through the door? I'll wait.
I don't know. Don't ask me.
Do we still hear him?
I say wait till he's out of earshot and then bust it open.
Well, okay, so as soon as we no longer hear him berating
Oh yeah,
the poor boy.
he's going on a pretty bad tear.
Okay,
Talking about the guy's mom and...
If we can still hear him, then I'm not going to chop open the door because I'm waiting for Silverthorn.
All right. So you hear him for another minute or two. He's still gathering stuff together.
Well, okay, all right. My dwarf's been patient. I look at everybody and I pull the axe back, and the look is inviting them to stop me if they think I'm too early, but it's time to go.
You've had plenty of time to start, Silverthorn. You have had plenty of time to start a fire.
Yeah, just a small fire. It's something that I can get in the kitchen area. But it's obviously outside the fireplace, at a table or something.
There's plenty of places to start it, and there's plenty of objects to start the fire with in the kitchen area.
And then I'll head on back down.
Okay. You get it good and smoking, and then you head back down.
So do we still hear him?
Yeah, he has quieted down, and he said, it just kind of like petered out his rant, and then you hear a little bit more shuffling, and then you hear the creak of something opening and the slamming of something.
Well, upon hearing that, I'm going to chop into the door.
Okay.
Because obviously he's gone. So whatever I need to do to chop into the door till it's, till we can get rid of the hinges.
Okay. You take your axe to it a few times, and you have cracked through the area that the latch and lock are, and you can shove the door open.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yep. No, I'm agreeing.
Okay. You come in to the area. There is a alchemist lab set up on one of the tables. There is several other books. It looks like several of the books that Bard described, more books and more paperwork. That's all been grabbed and set aside and taken. There is a bed area and a few other things. It's kind of basically looks like a laboratory, a room, a work area, a study, all kind of like crammed into this one floor. There is a continuation of more stairs across from you, going down. You have on the left-hand side, there is another doorway. It's kind of like a short, almost like a dumbwaiter size, maybe like a 3x3 entrance. That it's like a small doorway.
I'm guessing that's what creaked.
It's got a door in it. It looks pretty sturdy.
Well, if it's a dumbwaiter kind of thing,
kind of that size. Like it's like a big one of those.
Where it is in the room, does it line up with the kitchen area?
It lines up with around that area. It might go to the kitchen. It might not. It's not. You're kind of trying to like guess And
Yeah,
you're
I'm trying to
thinking
figure
that
out where he's going to come out of,
with it-
because it might be better to go up and cut him off as opposed to, because we can't follow him. What you want to do, boys and girls?
Can I take a look at the paperwork and books and try to figure out what he was?
Do we want to let him get away, or do we want to try and catch him?
hey, Bard's got his priorities. You've got yours.
Well, but you said all the books and stuff were gone. He took them.
He
so-
took most of the books. There is some there, and there's paperwork left as well.
Let me understand that there's only one exit, which is the dumbwaiter. Or did I
I
miss
say
it?
Well, I call it a dumbwaiter. It looks more like a small, strange door. You do not know what's beyond it.
Go over and open it.
Okay, so you've
Bard and Evan can gather the books and whatnot and bring it with them. And
okay, so Bard, you're going to gather the books.
Sure, I can gather the books and loose papers. So kind of eyeball them as I go.
Okay, so you're going to sit there and gather those up. Who is going to go through the door? The small port.
I want to open it first.
Okay.
I fit probably pretty good.
All right, you open it, and it looks like it comes out into a dark shaft. There is a ladder across the way from you, about 3 or 4 feet, and it looks like there is a very tiny catwalk on either side that go towards it. And the ladder goes down further, and the ladder goes up.
Well, I look up. Do I see anything?
It is pretty dark, but you see a bit of motion as something passes by what you would say is like an opening to the outside.
Okay, I'll start trying to climb up then.
Okay. Anybody? What else?
Seeing that she's going, I'm going. Because
Okay.
I don't think we can afford to let him get away.
All right.
Oh, and you said that the motion I saw disappeared from my view, correct?
Yes, as if it has reached the top of the ladder and gone outside.
Okay.
Nate, in this room, you said there's another stairwell?
Yes, there's another stairwell going down, similar to the 2 that you've already gone down previously.
All right. Just
But there's
go over
also
and see if-
a ladder in this side little,
Right.
like, weird port in the wall.
Just want to go and look down this thing. Maybe he left this way.
Okay, so you're going to go continue
It's not
down
very
the
far
spiral.
away, right?
No,
Well, I'm not
it's
going to
not.
go all the way down. I'm just
You're
going
gonna
to look.
So you're going to
see
go
what's-
down and look at the spiral staircase. There is a heavily latched and closed and locked with chains door.
Oh, lovely. Obviously, we never heard that.
So all of the doors, the door to get into this room was sturdy, but it was not as closed off and secured as the door you just looked at. That's at the base of the spiral staircase.
Right. Okay. Got it. So I'm just going to go back. Guess we'll follow everybody up the ladder.
Could I suggest that either Gambit and Ervin or Ervin and I go up the stairs back the other way so we get him caught between us in a crossfire?
We don't know where he's going. It might not be anywhere near the kitchen. We never saw anything like this in the kitchen, so
It's
we
on
don't
the
know where
same.
he's going.
It's on the
I
same
was thinking
side.
He's running back to go to the fire, investigate the fire from the side entrance.
Okay.
So you're gonna run back up the stairs? Is that,
If they want to go, I didn't see get him in a crossfire. That way he can't just run back down here.
But you don't know where he's going, is the point. We don't know he's going back to the upstairs to check out the fire. He's just getting away from the fire. We don't know where he's going.
all
I
right.
was just following these guys.
Whoever wants to run up the stairs, go right ahead. Whoever wants to climb the ladder, let me know who's doing it. Let's know who's doing what.
I am
Go
up the ladder.
Okay,
Yeah,
can
we're
I?
all going down the ladder.
Okay, raise your
I
hand if
was
you're
on the
going
way
to.
up the ladder when he had mentioned that. So
Okay,
Yeah, we're all going up the ladder.
everybody's going up the ladder.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a bit cramped in there, but as each one of you goes up, the next one can kind of hop onto the ladder and go up. You guys get to the top of the ladder. Was it Silverthorn and Gambit? you're up at the top. Kine and Eravin, and then Bard, because Bard was like gathering papers together and things.
Sounds
All right.
good.
You get up to the top of the ladder. You don't see anybody around.
But do I see any tracks?
You do see a lot of tracks. You see a series of tracks that you know to be mephits. You see some tracks that look to be other types of creatures you're not really sure about. Some of them are kind of like chicken scratches.
But I'm looking for humanoid tracks on top of the rest of them.
You do see humanoid tracks on top of the rest of them. They're headed back towards the front of the cave entrance.
No!
And I'll head after them. Oh, I'll wait till the first person comes up after the hole behind me, and I motion to him, point which way I'm going, and then I'll head out after him.
Okay. Did anyone stow Penn's body anywhere except just like move it aside so that they could? They just got to just like set it to the side.
I think we just prodded him over a little bit and left him be.
I would imagine that the three people who were there first would do whatever was going to be done. So
Just set him aside, okay.
Yep.
So you hear a, Penn, what happened? I was just talking with you.
Now we know he's close by.
You dang fool, you got yourself killed and the place is burning down. Because there's like, now you can kind of see smoke and some light coming from the thing. It's not overtaking the entirety of the floor or anything like that. But the kitchen, you're going to have some burnt sausages if you don't get that fire out.
If I can hear him and see the flames, I should be able to see him.
Well, you see like the light of it. It's pretty dark. There is moonlight, but it is kind of dark. So you do see flames, not the flames themselves, but the light, like because he opened the door, saw Penn on the ground. So you're coming around the corner.
Surprising him?
I just only get line of sight on him for 6 seconds.
For 6 whole seconds. All right. So as you come around the corner, you kind of like can all come in a group. So what you see is a man in darker colored robes. He doesn't look very like tough or fit or anything like that. And he's got a scraggly beard and some kind of like close to the head cap that he wears, and looks kind of like a long hooded cap or something. And he has over his shoulders 2 bundles of papers and books, and he just like opened the door, yelled that, and then turned around like wondering who could have possibly just killed Penn. And he looks like he's ready to dodge something from the dark, because something obviously just killed Penn. Because he was just talking to him.
So, do we have a surprise, or do we roll initiative?
No, he's going to see you coming around the corner, because he's like looking for someone just killed his guard, so he's like looking around for who could have been. So unless you want to all try and stealth around the corner, I mean, if you stealth all around the corner, I'll give you a surprise. But I don't think we need to try that roll, really.
I wasn't trying to stealth. I was trying to get close.
Okay.
There's that one again on initiative.
Roll initiative. What do we get?
1.
Yeah. Gambit got 1. All right. I got to roll. What did I roll?
Oh, I guess that makes it a 2, though. 2, I guess.
I got a 16.
Don't make a much difference, I think.
All right. Who's got what?
I have a 19. Okay. You guys are all kind of far away from him. So when he sees you, when he definitely kind of heard you rumbling this way, he looks, he goes, "Are you the ones that killed Penn?" And then he looks at the door and he's like, looking like, you can see he's trying to decide. This does not seem like a heavy combat savvy guy, but he makes a decision to grab the door, jump inside, and close it.
Which door?
The first one that you came in, that Penn desperately was trying to latch before you witch bolted him to death.
Okay, well, he's going to have trouble with my dagger still sitting there, so he's going to try to shut the door. I never picked it up.
You left your dagger wedged in the door? Well, it was open.
Yeah.
You guys all came in.
Yeah, but I put it in there to open the door. Never mind. That's fine.
You would have left it there?
Yeah, because I didn't want it to shut. Remember when we didn't know what was down here.
Oh,
But it
okay.
doesn't matter. It's fine.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
I was really hoping to see him for 6 seconds before he closed that door. I'm not good at opening doors. Actually, I don't know whether I checked to see whether that door had a latch, so I guess I'm going to run up to the door and try and open it.
Okay.
I don't know, use my awesome 10 strength against it or something.
Go ahead.
Or how about athletics?
Oh, you can use athletics, sure. You're trying to wrench something over. Something open.
That'd be a 13.
All right. As you pull the door open, you hear a as he's trying to keep it closed because something must have happened. Something he couldn't close it all the way.
Ooh, it's not latched. Somebody give me a hand.
So he tried, but you wrenched it forward, and he kind of just sprawls in front on the ground. He's like, "Oh, you're thieves, you're brigands, you're gonna murder me!"
Well, that's my action.
I guess I'll cast Vicious Mockery, and then Ben's voice say, "Boss, I don't think this is going to end well for you."
I'm just gonna have him fail it. Yeah, you can deal your damage to him. He's currently sprawled out on the floor, forward like this.
All right, so I'm going to go up there and try to subdue him, I guess.
Okay.
He's on the ground. I guess I could sit on him and tell him not to move.
Just pile on. Kane, you're muted.
Dog pile.
All right, you easily subdue him, and he is openly weeping on the ground into the dirt. He is not the epic villain you were expecting.
Silverthorn says, "Well, this was a disappointing end to a hunt."
I'll pass more paperwork to Bard. Put these in your files.
Yeah, it's well wrapped. 2 big stacks of books.
There ain't no crying in D&D.
He.
Well, there's still more stairs. There's still more stairs to go down, so the hunt might not be over.
Oh, by the way, there's still a fire in the kitchen. If anybody wants to try and put that out.
Dinner. Don't harm dinner.
You're really smoking those sausages in there.
Hey, have
I
a nice
think we'll
rich
make sure-
smoky flavor.
I think we'll make sure that the fire gets put out. And
Okay, you can easily just. It was more smoke than anything, and you can easily just throw empty sacks on top of it and tap it out. Whoever goes and does it.
Also, prestidigitation could probably put it out pretty quick.
Yeah, thaumaturgy, prestidigitation, I'll allow those to weaken the fire. It's not like a bonfire's in the kitchen or anything. All right.
So yeah.
Asen is a blubbering mess on the ground.
I told him to pull himself together and asked what he had to say.
Did you guys just kill Penn? I was just talking with him, and now he's dead.
There are some questions that are best left unanswered.
Strange magics.
Exactly. So what you be doing here then?
You can see he's trying to control himself. Okay, so you guys know Bard's the librarian, but Bard is not a stereotype in a lot of ways. This seems like a person who has learned all of their abilities and skills by reading books, not by killing monsters. You can see that in his demeanor, how he's very timid, and also he just feels very weak. It's like, my name's Asen Bradford, and I was just here. I'm doing a magical experiments and tasks for my association. You see he gets very still and quiet.
Yes,
And
Continue.
and I hired some local people who needed some work. I hired them to just guard the place and make sure people don't show up to it, because there's some things in expense. He stops when he's halfway through expense. There's some things down here that I want just people running around or a bear coming in to sit in a cave. And why are you all these people? Why are you doing this? Did you set the fire? He just
Never mind
seems like
about fire.
he truly
Now-
believed that was Penn, but he was really mad at him for disturbing him.
So, first question. So with your, nice works program and all that, but does the research have something to do with methods?
His eyes go wide.
I'll take that as a yes. Now,
Why do you know
second
that?
Second question. Did you know that they've been terrorizing a nearby town?
His eyes go wide again.
I'll take that as a yes. So,
He goes, no. How do you know those methods? And how do you...
So with it clear, you've been using these discs, and hopefully someone will now hold up one of the unbroken discs
I will.
that we just pilfered. Yes, Bard has it.
How do you have these discs?
We're resourceful, which I'm hoping you are now. So, we need you to stop.
Wait, there's methods terrorizing people? I did not know of this. What kind of crazy person sends methods to terrorize people? I'm here doing some magical research. I've had a few setbacks, but...
Did any of the creatures escape your control? I'll take that as a yes.
Yes.
They terrorize the town.
There was only one. He's gone.
And with the side of the blade, I'm just tapping his forehead.
The invisible...
Stupid man.
I'll have you know, I was educated at the finest mage tower in the land. And
did you graduate?
he's like all like huffing and puffing. It's well, I was there for long enough. Wait.
Okay.
Are you saying the invisible one is loose?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
He like went from like full on like about to go crazy panic to kind of like.
Tell us about the invisible one.
So let's start over. Tell us about the invisible man. I'll put the knife away.
He's looking back over at Penn. He says, I was doing magical experiments and I was doing the summonings like I've read, and I was putting the binding circlets on them like I'm supposed to, and something came through and I put the binding circlets on it like you're supposed to, and I don't know how or why, but they broke, or it broke them, whatever. It broke free from the bindings, and it started rampaging around the lab downstairs. I had to seal and lock the thing. I barely got out alive. And he shows this giant bruise on his arm, on his forearm. It's like it struck me soundly, and I almost died. And so this has been healing for a month now.
Was it covered in mud, and was its rampage more of a skipping around the room?
It's invisible.
I don't think it's like the others.
I mean, I guess it could skip. I don't know. I didn't check.
When you mentioned he was looking over at Penn, it occurs to me that Penn has one of my arrows in him. I'd like to go pull it out.
He cringes and goes,
If it's invisible, maybe this one's made of air. So I can figure.
That would make sense.
well, of course it's made out of air.
Mm,
It's
And
it's
We've
elemental
dealt
in
with
nature.
mud, we've dealt with ice, we've dealt with fire.
whatever you know about it, it's best to tell us now. Because we have two options, really. One is to deal with whatever mess you've created.
That sounds like a great option. I'll just go with that. Would you like to get paid? I have money. In fact, you can have those books too.
Oh, I'll be.
Oh, of course we want to get
I have to
paid.
check something.
And of course we want all of your books.
He's really not interested in hearing the second option. He's like, so that sounds great. I have money.
Because you know that option 2 involves
He looks over at Penn.
opening the door and letting you deal with the mess that you made and closing the door behind you. I'm not in favor of that option right away. So tell us all of you know, and then perhaps we can help you.
He reaches out to you and like the pleading kind of thing, like, but then the problem when it gets solved, if there's things coming out and there's mephits, that means it must be letting all them loose.
When he looks over at Penn again, I'll pull up the arrow, lick the blood off, put it in my quiver, then look at him.
Oh boy.
He's like,
okay, yeah.
Savage. Savages.
Asen, that's your name, right? Are you thirsty? Yes. Could you use a bit to drink? Here's a little draught for you to steady your nerves, so you can tell us what you know, so we can deal with this and get paid. Okay,
so he just drinks it as fast as possible and goes, pop, pop. Okay.
Better talk fast.
All right, okay. He has to, like, look away from Penn off into the woods. Basically...
Focus on me.
Okay. All right. So basically, there is this elemental creature that came through one of the circles that I had laid. I don't know if it was incorrectly done. I've been studying it to try and lock it back down again, but I have not figured it out. And something that's gone on with that is that there's several things down there. All the other ability, anything could come through any of the gates down there.
Gates?
Carl?
Well, okay. Well, I say gates, but I'm trying, like the gate on a door, like a fence or something. You know, something can come in through a gate. It's similar to that, but it's temporary. It needs time to generate, and it needs time to eventually... do you even understand what I'm talking about? This is complex magical theory. I will tell you...
It's not that complex. You're an idiot.
Fast.
How long till something else can come through?
What's the recharge rate on the gate?
Well, about every day things can come through, but without someone there saying the incantations are moving things, there shouldn't be many things down there. But if you're saying things are getting loose, then that means that the thing knows how to make it occur.
Can I have you show me in the books what incantations you did to make sure you did them right?
That's going to take a while. How about you go down and check it out, and you can see what's going on down there.
Well, if it's loose, that means we'll have to deal with it right then and there. So if we know how to put it back in the circle and make it stay there,
I don't think you're going to...
would help.
Well, if you can shove it back into the area and then break some of the crystals that are around it, that should shut the ability for it to come back through.
How many crystals?
No, there's 3 or 4 crystals around each one of the openings.
How many openings?
Well, there's about 4 or 5.
And where exactly do they lead?
To different planes. They're kind of like little crawl spaces into different planes. Not true gates and not true summoning circles, but ways kind of like little poked holes.
Big enough for methods.
Big enough for methods. I can't believe they were getting loose. I just thought because I wasn't down there, I wasn't able to do anything with them.
Can the gate keep charging past the limit and open up bigger if you don't use the power and drain it every day?
I don't think so, but this isn't exact. It is not like making something a square. It's not. That is exact measurements. This is experimentation.
Hey, Nate, what would we know? Like, can I do a check on Arcana?
Yes.
What we would know about these gates and.
Yes, that would be very helpful instead of talking to gibberish boy.
Yeah, because I'm a little fed up with him. Ooh, I like that. 22.
Okay. So you know that there are ways of opening up small portals to different planes, especially if there's magical tools specifically designed to do so. But getting something big enough that enough mass, such as a person, can go through, that's way more complex and it's powerful magic. But it seems that they have figured out a way to kind of, like you said, poke a little hole into the plane, kind of lets out like a trickle of it. And mephits are really some of the tiniest. They're like the goblins of the elemental world, so kobolds of the elemental world. So you could see some of those because of the essence difference between something large like a true elemental, and a mephit. The essence difference is order of magnitudes difference. So it'd be it's like the difference between a raindrop and like a gallon of water.
So if he did that, whatever way he did that, if he didn't control it, didn't do things right, and it just stayed, then what? Is it just going to stay and keep like letting things through?
It very well could, and if this thing is activating things,
right?
Like
sounds like
he assumes, since you're saying he's believing you that you're saying that there's mephits that came through, and are terrorizing the town. From what you understand, he's not lying about not trying to be like, I'm sending mephits to terrorize the town, so you're not getting that impression from him. He just seems like he hasn't done his due diligence and safety protocols for magical experimentation.
He's just totally.
OSHA will be pissed.
Yeah.
Quick question about the methods. They have the little controlling crystal. Don't you have to put them in the method to summon it, or do they just summon around it? How does that work? Because it seems to me like somebody's putting the crystals in like the tavern in the fire or in the bucket of water.
Well, there should be a certain amount. The crystal can meld into the creature. It's part of its magical essence, and it's almost as if if you take a small coin and you hide it in your hand, like that. But when the things come through, they automatically coalesce around this. They're like hanging in the portal area, and they coalesce around it to shape around it. So it almost as if the magic of it binds it to it.
Okay, so it had to come from these portals, and not like someone throwing a crystal that's undamaged into like the fire, or I guess the bucket of water or the mud.
Yeah, you think that it possibly like coalesced around these things as if it's drawn to it and bound to it when they're coming through these small cracks in the planes.
I got a
question.
question.
Say, it might be prudent for us to make sure to be careful when trying to shut these things down, because we might end up making it, like I said, making it worse instead of while trying to make it better. You know what I mean?
Don't want to overload the crystals and make a small pinprick into a big tear, essentially.
Yeah, just whenever we do what we're trying to do here, we go about it carefully, because we might end up making a bigger problem than we intended to. But anyway.
Well, whatever we do, I have a feeling we need to do it soon, because the longer we wait, the more chance there is that something else could come through, or something big could come through. So the sooner we shut it down, the better.
On with it.
Now, I say this in the hopes that while we're doing all of this chatting, that this could constitute a short rest, so that we could go into whatever it is we're going to do with whatever abilities we can regain in that amount of time.
Oh yeah, you can. You guys can take a short rest. That's fine.
while we're doing this chatting. So, I mean,
I do have one question. Didn't he mention didn't he mention a boss of his own, or did I misunderstand?
an association that he belongs to.
I'd like to know more about this here association that sent you out here to do this stuff, whatever the hell it is.
Well, it's a job I got from the Mage Circle. People apply to either work at certain places in towers. Other people get jobs with kings and are advisors to other people. And for some of us who have issues finding certain levels of employment, such as king's advisor, we find odd jobs here and there that require a mage's expertise.
I pull out one of the more particularly wicked-looking skinning knives that I bought the other day, and I walk over to him and I sort of play with it in my hand and say, "Who specifically is the person that told you to come out here? I want a name."
Well,
Now you've done it. You've made her angry.
I don't mean to make you angry.
About
It's just
no association. I want a name of a person.
I've never met them personally, but there is a group of mages that work close by with Caverstead people, the Caverstead company, and those are the people who kind of put out this opportunity for me.
This is like a job posted on a job board on parchment.
It's not so much like that, but a lot of people don't like the idea of other people finding out when they're doing different types of magical research. And
so they posted it on a piece of paper on the wall. Go out here and don't tell nobody, and kill anyone who gets close.
No. All right, so we weren't supposed to be killing anybody.
Well, the people who call you boss got the impression that that's what you wanted him to do. Or the people who did call you boss, because you look over at Penn, they ain't right here no more.
He says, I just hired some local people. I didn't necessarily check what they had done previously. They all looked like they could handle themselves. Obviously not so much Penn here, but, well, it's bad to speak ill of the dead.
I'm getting an urge to speak ill of you.
Well, that hopefully means I won't be dead. I specifically gave them instructions to guard the area and don't let people in, because I can't have this delicate equipment and things get damaged. But obviously this has had a problem and there's damages. But they decided to do that on their own.
I have a thought.
Yes.
This problem needs to be dealt with. And obviously, we are the people that are going to do that with your assistance. But perhaps, now that you no longer have your guards, you're going to have to report back to these people that hired you, correct?
Well, with the advent of me not being able to handle these invisible creature, and also the mages, the methods being loosed.
I think what my friend is saying is,
they don't know that yet.
And your associates can pay us for it. For services.
Well, because you still need to get paid. I'm assuming you get paid.
I don't think I'm going to get paid for this. I will just be happy if you take care of this issue. I didn't know it was harming anybody. I would just like to have all this done, and I will go find some more reputable people to do than this Caverstead company.
Perhaps you can point us in the direction of the people that hired you before you go jaunting off.
Well, are you familiar?
Can you do that for us?
You familiar with the Caverstead group? It's a famous noble house and merchants on the merchant circle.
I'm assuming we've heard of.
Would I be familiar with that?
Somebody's familiar with it.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
but I'm assuming there's.
Well, I mean, that's whether or not you want to say it that you're familiar with it. So,
but the house is large. I am meaning. You can point us in the direction of the people that told you to do this.
Well, there is the red, the black, and the blue. That's their nicknames. They don't actually tell anybody real names. They're really old school wizard and that kind of idea. They're afraid some kind of witch or demon is gonna take their true name and do something to them.
Okay, focus. You can tell us where to find the person or people that told you to do this, so that we can then ask them some polite questions.
Yes. Okay, of course. Sorry.
There we go.
The black, the blue, and the red of the
have another drink.
Of the Caverstead Company.
I'm just listening to what he says. I definitely understand.
I don't remember where Caverstead is. Is that Calistar? I think that's Calamstar.
I have that written down as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Calistar is the city-state. We might have to retcon that if I find out it's another place. But let's say right now it's Calistar.
All right. So now let's focus on dealing what's behind door number 1. All right. So I'm assuming you can open up the locked door to let us in.
Oh yes. Here, I'll get the key for you.
So you're saying that the best way to stop what's going on is to break all the crystals.
Yes, I mean it took quite a long time. I mean, if you could remove the crystals, that would be preferable. But you can break them to stop it. Yes.
Right. Be gentle if we can.
Yes.
I understand.
I mean, feel free to keep them, but I did spend quite a lot of time and magical energy making them.
Yeah, you're not getting them back. No, you've done enough here. So.
Kenny, I got a question.
I've got an answer. Let's see if they match.
These methods that he let loose, they sort of like burned down a large portion of a town and injured some people.
Yep.
Doesn't this here fella need to go to be punished for that by the townspeople?
Well, perhaps you didn't need to mention that right in front of a man.
Well, I was just wondering whether we do that or we just kill him here.
I'd like to go to the town and be punished.
We can flip a coin if you like.
You know, did I mention that I'm already given one person a job? I'm thinking that punishment is in order, but I think it's just because this man's a damn fool. I don't think he has malicious intent. But that's for a magistrate to decide. I am not a policeman or a constable. I'm a soldier. So I say we don't kill him. We need his help to finish whatever's behind the door number 1, and then we can escort him to the town so he gets there safely, and then we can introduce him to a few of our friends in the town that can help him, say, get another job or go to jail or whatever they deem fit.
All right, that sounds all right. I mean, you're an expert on this town folk people. I don't have much dealing with them. Then I turn to look at him and I say, but if you run, I will kill you, and I will kill you slow.
Aye. And as a ward of nature, you don't have very many points in my book mucking around with forces that you have no business playing with. Elements.
He's taken aback by the threat of death, and he's also kind of just like down. He feels really downtrodden and low. It's like, he takes the
best bet to stay alive.
Here are the keys. This opens the chains. This opens the door. And
point of a question: are there any magical words that need to be said to close off any of these gates or temporary openings in fences or whatever you call them?
No.
Is there going to be any of that?
If you take out the crystals, or if you break them, they'll stop working.
Will they close up?
Well, yes, the magical power from the crystals won't allow any more. If they're broken, that'll fade and it'll close up.
That's only if we have to break them. I promised you we'd be gentle if we could. But, so, okay. Well, go ahead.
Does this mean we have to fight methods again? I hate those things.
Where have you been? Yes, we have
What
to
do you
fight
mean,
more
where have
methods.
I been? I've been staying right here.
What else do you think we're going to have to fight? He seems a bit slow, this merchant. Do you want to stay here and guard the man?
No.
Then it's methods. On the bright side, you get to fight a new one. It's apparently invisible and made out of air.
Lovely.
It's something new. I thought that'd cheer you up.
You sure you didn't get dropped on your head back there?
Not today. Just a fair lady, and we're not talking about that anymore. No one else saw it. It didn't happen.
All right,
It was a draw. It was a.
let's just get this over with.
Let's open the door and have at it. Is everybody okay with that? Are we ready to fight?
And this Aeson guy's coming with us, right?
You're certainly not going to be behind me.
I'll be behind him.
Well, you've got the bow. So I'd say he comes in with us and the door shuts behind us.
So,
Sounds like a
Ace,
plan.
do you have anything that might help us actually do any of this stuff?
Yes, I'm sure I have something somewhere.
Oh, that's encouraging.
He's
now
like,
would be a good time.
While you guys are questioning him, I'm going to go ahead and put all the books and notes in my pack so they're not in my hands for later use.
he says, "Oh, in the kitchen, if they didn't burn, there's a cabinet that has some things that will help." So you put the key in the latch, open it, and inside there are several bottles with red liquid in them. They're these tiny little stylized vials, kind of like perfuming containers, but they have a liquid inside that is not volatile, and it smells sweet.
Does he tell us what it is, or?
Yes.
What is it?
If you're harmed, this will help you heal your wounds and return your vitality.
Speaking of which, remind me, with a short rest, how much does one heal?
You can spend your hit dice up to your maximum amount of hit dice that you have currently, and you can roll those and heal yourself based on the amount. So,
all right, I'm going to quickly do that.
Okay.
How many of those vials were in there?
There's 3 in there.
So we can't waste one by having him taste it.
No, he said. Oh, well, okay, yeah. Well, if you don't believe what he said,
I'm the one who wanted to kill him.
and there's also another one that is a circular, like a sphere with a little stopper in it, and so this one gives you the endurance and strength to move heavy things for about an hour or so.
So healing and strength. Got it.
I don't trust him, so I don't take any of the vials.
Okay.
I'll take one of the red ones, the healing ones, to inspect and look at.
How many of these vials are there?
There are 4 in total. 3 of them are the red ones that he said restore your health and vitality, and one is the in strength and endurance.
I'll leave them to the rest of the party.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think this gentleman would lie to us at this point. After all, he needs his problem solved.
Well, I definitely will take one of the red vials.
Okay.
Yeah. If no one else is, I'll take the others just to research the strength one if they're scared to take them.
I was going to take the strength one.
Yes.
Because I have more hit points than other folks, so the other folks can make good use of the healing ones.
All right. He motions you for down the stairs, and he walks however you feel like having him walk, in the middle, in the beginning, wherever. And he goes into his office. He looks around and turns off the burner on one of the alchemy experiments and goes down to the latched door, and he, as quietly as he can, starts unlatching everything. He says, "I don't know if this will help. I don't know how well it hears, but I'm just going to try and do this quietly as I can."
I'd say get ready for trouble in case it rushes the door.
I think I'll do Shield of Faith on myself this time before we enter.
Sorry, I didn't know we were going down that fast. Before we leave the kitchen, Nate,
Yes?
I want flour
Okay.
because If this thing's invisible, I want to be able to see it.
That's a good thought.
So I'm going to grab a bunch of flour and take it with us. And so hopefully if this thing is out there, once we know it's around, I can throw that up there so we can at least see where it is.
I want to give everybody an inspiration for the role-playing so far today. Really good.
Cool.
And your excellent idea, Eravin, reminded me that I needed to give you guys some inspiration. You head in, you've got your flower. He unlocks it and says, well, you can open it and go in. And I'll just... I don't have to go in now, do I?
What's on the other side of the door first? Can describe it. What's on the other side of the door and everything?
Well, there is similar circular. It's a smaller circular room, similar to this. At the bottom of the stairs, there is several carved out sections in the stone, and above it is where the crystals are located, and each one of the segments that are the niches that are carved in. And there is some stone and some benches there. And there's also some of the tools for creating the binding circlets.
Did I hear that right? All the crystals for the summoning areas are kind of clustered back in the alcove?
They're like up on, kind of like lining in an arch.
I thought you said there were 4 or 5 gates.
4 of those?
Yeah, there's 4. Okay, he says specifically there's 4.
So there's 4 little alcoves with these crystals in them.
Yes.
Got it.
And they line the floor and arch up.
How far apart are they?
Like 5-10 feet. Let's say like 10 feet apart from each other, and all along the edge.
Like within a 15-foot cube?
That was a circle.
Yes, you'd get two of them within that area.
When he unchained the door, is the lock loose or is it built into the door?
Wait, you're talking about 15 by 15 foot area? So 15, 15, and 15. Okay.
Like within the blast radius of Thunderwave.
Okay, that'll be like 3 of them.
How many?
3.
I look at everybody and go, I think I have an idea how to get rid of the crystals.
Okay, that's great. So do you understand the layout of it? He's kind of drawn a map of it for you, and basically, it's a 20-foot across. There's a curved area, and there's, they're not equidistant apart, but 3 of them are kind of clustered together a little more, and then there's one on the side, and then there's another port that goes to you assume the ladder. Because you remember the ladder also went down. You assume that it goes to that spot.
I still have a question about the door. When he unlocked it as quietly as he could, is the lock built into the door or is it a separate padlock?
There was the lock. There's a built-in lock, and there's also some kind of chain that he had.
All right, I asked him for the key.
Okay, he gives you the key for it.
Because I don't want him to run away and lock us down in there.
That's a good point.
Well, he's coming in with us.
He's coming in with us anyway.
Yeah, but he may break and run.
That's true, but he's not going to be on the other side of the door.
What are you talking about? He has the fortitude of a seasoned veteran.
Yeah, a veteran mosquito.
That's about right.
I'm half tempted to cut his Achilles tendon, but...
Well, then you're going to have to deal with him later.
You could always tie up his ankles before we go in and just lean him against the wall.
No, I want him in there with us so the Mephits can attack.
No, he would be in with us, but with his ankles tied. That's all I'm saying.
That sounds like a plan.
I really think we need to take him back to town so he can get some community service, rebuild the tavern, stuff like that, help the community.
Well, we will, but that's after he helps us kill these things.
I agree, but we have to make sure he doesn't run away while we're fixing his problem.
Yeah.
I'll tie his ankles and his hands behind his back.
Yeah, tie up his hands. If he can do magic...
You're going to tie him all up?
But let's do it.
All right, are you letting him loose, or are you tying him up? What's the one?
I think we should tie his ankles so he can't get away, but his hands he might need.
All right.
But, okay, yes, but we don't want him casting at us. If he knows magic...
But isn't the whole point is he's helping us try to kill these things?
We'll trust him for now until he proves otherwise.
Okay, just to go back over things. There are times when you say things in front of your captive to get them to help you that you don't necessarily mean. We want him with us, yes, to fix his mess. I don't want him casting a spell into my back and running away.
Okay.
All right. So he's going to go in with you with
We
his...
need to come up with a language that we know and the people we're with don't.
Navajo.
We could all learn Abyssal.
Let's go.
You tie his ankles.
All right. He deals with it. It's like, well, I guess I got to make sure that everyone doesn't die.
And Bart, you said you had a plan for the gates.
Well, if we can't just walk in and disassemble them, that's great. But should anything happen, I can center myself around them and just cast Thunder Wave, destroying them.
I say that's plan A.
Yes, definitely. But we've got to stop this supposed invisible thing from coming out this door or getting past us. So we got to figure out a way to do that first, or figure out what we're going to do first.
We lock the door behind us when we go in.
Okay.
If this thing's been in there, how come it hasn't gone up the ladder to the room, the exit we had?
Good question. Well, Asen,
Well, why hasn't it left?
why hasn't it gone up the ladder to go outside like he did?
I don't know.
You left to the side there, we could see down.
I don't know. Maybe it can't fit. I'm not familiar with this size of creature. It shouldn't even be able to fit through the tear.
How big is this thing?
I can't see it. This is maddening. Let us just go in. Help me take care of this problem before other creatures get loose.
I asked for a handful of flour.
Yeah, I'll give him some.
I'll take one.
Yeah, I think when we go in, we just throw the stuff in the air and so we can see this thing. So I'll give stuff to whoever wants some of it.
If there's enough, I think we should all have some here.
I'm in favor.
I'll take some.
Because we don't, if it's actually invisible, we don't know where it is. So we got to start throwing as soon as we get in this place.
You open the door and you walk in and you see that there are, as he described, there are these little niches with these glowing, multicolored crystals positioned around the entrances of these niches. And there are 4 of these niches. There is also to your left corner, well, to the left section away from you, there is another door similar to the one that you guys went through to the ladders above. There is several desks with crystals as well as a large crystal pillar about as tall as the forest gnome and about as wide as a person's arm. It seems to be rough, but it looks like it is a similar... Gambit, you notice it is a similar quality and style, origin, as the binding crystals that are made. So it must be what is used to make these binding circlets. There is some stuff strewn about the room. It looks like some things have been smashed around and destroyed.
I think the plan was to, once we open the door, to pile in quickly and close it behind us as quickly as possible.
And I attempt to lock the door from the inside. I don't know if the key goes all the way through, but...
I'm going to move towards the crystal thing and say, can he come with me?
Right.
All right. As you begin moving, you do feel kind of, even though it's closed off, you do feel disturbances in the air and things moving around. As if things are moving around. Okay, so you're gonna start. You're gonna start.
Flowers, we move.
Okay, so you're gonna start throwing the flour around.
Yeah. Yes.
And you see it gathering currents, and several vaguely humanoid shapes, like small humanoid shapes, begin to appear, and you hear something that's kind of like dragging a file along stone.
Oh,
like,
lovely.
And you see in the background, beyond all these little shapes, towards the the port area, the door to go up to the ladder. You see a sword appear. That's a sword being dragged along the ground, and it picks up into the air as if by an invisible force, and comes towards you. So you guys can roll initiative, and you can see that as there's more flour, you can see where the new disturbance is kind of pushing the air out of the way.
So with the flower in the air, do I see the outline of the one that's swinging the sword or dragging it?
Well, while you still can't see the one that has the sword, you see the sword. And you also see it's kind of just making disturbance in all the flour. It's like almost as if like a ship is going through the water. So you can see where the flowers, the air currents with the flour in it are getting parted. And you also see a sword in the air. So you're pretty certain where it is, and probably if you threw flour on it again, it would be quite visible.
But is that enough for me to cast a spell on it?
Is it a target spell or is it a spell attack?
It's Hunter's Mark. It just says I cast it. There's no roll.
Yeah, you can just cast it at it.
Okay. Then I do that, and I shoot at it with my bow. That would be 24.
Yeah, that hits.
15.
Okay. The arrow goes through it, and you're not really sure if you heard it, but it is a creature of air, so...
Well, did the sword twitch as it went through it?
Yeah, you saw some disturbance. It did react to it.
Other than that, I guess I'll just back up against the door.
Okay.
Are the methods that we can see on the group together?
There is 3 on the one side of the sword, and there's 1 on the other side of the sword. There's 4 in a line, so like 20 feet basically from edge to edge, you could say, and then there's 2 in the background.
Am I close enough to the crystal area that I can move there and take an action?
Yes, you can. Anybody can make it all the way to one of the edges of the chamber in 1 round.
I'm gonna wait on that first, since they're all grouped together. I'm gonna cast Fairy Fire on them.
Okay, you will hit all of them, because isn't that 20 by 20?
Yeah, it's a 20-foot cube.
Yeah, you'll hit all of them.
And I guess I'll let them glow green.
Okay.
Outline.
I need to make saving throws. I need to fail saving throws. What's your thing, like 13? Alright. The large creature glows, and 2 of the other small creatures glow. And have like little wisps of light around them. So
there's an advantage on attack, doesn't it?
Yes, you get advantage on attack. Now, okay, so you would get disadvantage normally because they're invisible. Because of the flower, you're getting nothing. And then because of the fairy fire, you're now getting advantage. So those 2 things really turn the combat around, between the flower idea from Erevan and the fairy fire for that. So anything that you attack that has fairy fire on it, you'll get advantage on. Anything that you attack normally is just going to be a normal attack. It's not going to be at disadvantage.
All right, and as my bonus action, I'm going to give Kenny Bardic Inspiration.
How far away is the big one, right? That's the one that was just attacked. Well, sort of attacked. It looked like it went right through him, right?
Yeah, but it did look like it reacted. It's about 15 feet away.
All right. I am going to stand up there and start chanting, and blue fire comes out of my hand. Lightning comes out of my hand. And my body, by the way, you guys can see this now. My features and everything, they don't really glow, but I turn like scaly blue. Things that you can see on my face, my hands. And I'm going, I am really getting sick of these method things, and cast that.
So, what are you?
I rolled a 19, so I think I hit.
Oh, you definitely hit.
All right, so D12.
The large creature and 2 of the little methods you can roll advantage against it. So you could roll to see if you crit, if you want.
All right, I'll do that. Nope.
Okay.
I hit again, but I didn't crit. 11 points.
All right.
And it should have, glow blue around that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're crackling blue lightning encircles it and like latches onto it as if it's like biting it and attacking it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna back around the rest of the fighter types because I don't want to be near these things right now, and I've got to keep concentrating. So.
Okay. So you're moving basically to the back of the area away,
Yeah.
like so, putting people in between you.
Yeah.
All right, and you
So
hear
you're
like
backing over towards me.
you hear a whistling kind of hiss, like a tea kettle, as this lightning is hissing and zapping it.
Cool.
So Bard moved one direction to try and do the thing, and Moridanes beer, what the? No wonder you get the best of the deals. You just fry anyone who doesn't go wrong. No wonder you've been successful. You let us in on these things. Whoa! Now I know where the lightning came from that scorched my beard. Okay. And I'm gonna meet up with the large thing that's now glowing and lightning and all that. I'm going to lay into him. $18 on the die, 23 total.
Okay, you can roll. You can roll with advantage because you're attacking the big one, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Nothing better. So let's see if this actually affects him. 11 points of damage if an axe attack affects him.
Yeah, you can feel some resistance as you strike through it.
Okay, well in that case, I'm going to use my action surge to do it again now that I know that it works. So, attack with advantage. Ooh, that's a 20.
Yay!
All right.
So, okay, so what did you say? I wasn't expecting to have to remember what to do with a crit.
Just
I don't
it's the
normally do
full
that.
damage on the attack, as if it was a normal attack at max, and then you roll the die damage.
Okay.
So your minimum is what you would maximum like normally roll.
Okay, so 18 total. So I had the max would have been 11, all that, and then a 7 more on the die.
Okay. So there's another hiss as part of the flower coating and the fairy fire. Like there's sections of it just kind of like gust off and whoosh to the side.
Face me, air demon.
The tiny ones will go. A 24 hit you, Kane? I'm sorry, a 21.
Oh, well, only a 21. Let me check. Carry the one. Yeah, that is.
Okay. And who else is in front? Bard, are you in front? Or Gambit, are you in front?
No, I'm kind of mid-pack there.
Erevan and Silverthorn, I'm assuming, are in the back.
Yeah,
Right.
Bard went
I
across
guess
the room.
I guess I'd be in the
Okay.
middle, I don't know.
So, Bard, does a 16 hit you?
Well, quick question.
And I'm probably within 5 feet of Kenny, so they'll have disadvantage.
Okay.
That's why I asked him to come with me.
Yeah.
So, does a 16 hit you or not?
No.
Okay, well then it doesn't matter, because that was, with disadvantage, it's not going to get any better. What you see before you is, it almost looks as if it's tightly packed streams of fog with all this flour in it, and it ends in these kind of strange, over-exaggerated kind of claws in the air. And you can see all these because of all the flour mixture all within the air of them. So it looks like some kind of weird, ghostly demon, I don't know, like demon cats are trying to jump at you and claw at you. Kene, you get hit once, and you take 6 points of damage. As you get,
that was from the 21?
yeah, you get slashed.
Okay. How many say 6?
Yep. And the rest of you that were attacked, Bard and Kene, they didn't do much to you. The large invisible creature with the sword swings at you, Kene.
Bring it.
24.
Oh, well. Perhaps I should reconsider my choice of wood.
And an 18.
The 18 will also hit.
Okay.
Yeah, because we don't have any special buff spells up, right?
Drop it.
So yeah, it'll hit.
Okay. That will be 5 and 4. As the sword swings through air, you hear a kind of a vibrating hum tone to it.
That's perhaps not good. Okay.
And when it hits you, it's staggering. You weren't expecting the amount of impact from it as it strikes you.
Oh.
Okay. The gates. Does there appear to be any difference to the 4 of them?
No, they all seem very similar.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to sidestep the scrum and move to one of the ones that's to the side of me, I guess, and attempt to pry it away from. See if that has any effect on the.
You know you'll be able to use your jeweler's tools and other things.
Okay,
Basically, the tools of your craft. It's like their gemstones set in a framework. So you would know how to
roll for that.
Just roll a tool proficiency. So you would say, do you have a tool proficiency?
Yeah, but you just add your proficiency to whatever roll it is, though, don't you?
Yeah, it's basically,
what roll would it be?
I would say Dex plus your proficiency plus the die roll.
18 plus 1 plus 2. Oh, it would be
Okay,
21,
yeah.
wouldn't it?
You can easily just pop it. You can, you bend the little prongs that are attached to it and pop it right out. And
Okay,
as you do that,
does anything happen?
As you do that, the rest of the little the crystals that are set around it begin to dim a little bit.
Oh, okay. So it dimmed. The other 3 dimmed when the first one came out.
No, the ones around it. There's like a bunch.
Oh, okay.
You say there's at least 6 that are all around. There's 3 on the floor, and then 3 around the little niche of it.
Oh, so it would take some work to get all of the one. Okay.
Yeah, you could pry at least 2 or 3 of them out and around if that's all you do.
I'll continue to do that then for the rest of my turn.
Okay. They dim, but they do glow in your hand when you pry them out.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll gather them as I go in my turn.
All right.
Top of the round.
All right.
Silverthorn.
Unfortunately, I used all my spell slots. Kenny, how badly are you hurt?
I'm bleeding.
I mean, are you like 1 hit away from death?
Depends on the hit. But I do have a trick up my sleeve for that, so
okay.
I'm gonna try and I'm gonna use an ability this next round to try and alleviate some of that.
Okay, then I will use my attack on the big one. And you say I currently have advantage on him?
Yes.
The guy with the sword?
Mm-hmm. He's glowing in fire and powder.
And how many inspiration points do I just add them all to my roll?
Okay, well, the problem is when you roll with advantage, it's hard to use inspiration.
Well, in that case, it's a 15.
No, that does not hit him.
Okay, well, then the arrow just goes... Oh, by the way, is Erevan next to me?
He's close by, yeah.
Before I fire the shot, I turn around, look at him. City folk.
Just because he glows scaly blue? You're crazy. You're a crazy country bumpkin.
What was your first clue?
All right. Bard's next. Wow. City folk. Bard.
Whenever he had tried those 2 gems out, did it affect did it make them stronger or weaker, or have any effect on the methods?
You think
before I go destroying stuff?
You think that the methods that are currently there are not? It doesn't seem to be affected.
All right, I'm going to move to the other 3 that he was not, so I'm centered around them, and I'm going to go ahead and cast Thunder Wave.
Okay, you're also going to hit the guys that are in the way, right? Or did you walk right over to them?
anything around me.
Okay, you're going to hit 2 of them, and they both failed their con save, I think is what it is. So they're going to get shoved back against the wall, and you want to roll your damage? Whatever.
All right, so they take 6 damage. Is that enough to break the crystals in the other 3 gates?
You said it does 6 damage?
Yes.
Yes, they get slammed against the wall, and several of the crystals go dark and are cracked and like shatter out of their holdings. Actually, most of the crystals crack and shatter out of their holdings there.
So enough to shut down the gates.
You don't see any. You see like very barely any flickering glowing happening there. So you would say that the cracks are not getting supplied with any energy anymore.
So we're down to just the one that Gamut's working on.
Yes.
Sweet. Then I'll go ahead and use a bardic inspiration for Aravan as my bonus action, and I'm done.
Oh, and what's his
sorry.
name? Sorry, I forgot to have the NPC act. Sorry. Asen shoots forth a bolt of fire at one of them, and hurts it, but doesn't kill it.
Question about when I'm concentrating. What else? What can I do other than concentrate?
Certain spells require you to use your action.
Right.
I think Witch Bolt requires you to use your action to do the damage. So
Okay, that's fine.
you can move and interact with freely interact with objects.
Okay. Cool. So I'm just gonna then just concentrate. So, and he doesn't get a save anymore. I just get to do damage.
Yep.
Till I stop. So, and he takes 5 more points.
All right. Again, you hear the whistling tea kettle sound and the crackling of energy, like gnawing at the bits of his essence.
But no more friends coming to help you now.
Doesn't
now
look like it.
you're mine. And with it, and I'm gonna let out a kind of a growl and shake myself, bang on my shield, and regain some hit points.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna clang my shield, and then have at him. So regain 6 plus 2. I regain 8 hit points. And I will try and slash at the air. And well, now, did you do a bard thing on me before?
Yeah, you haven't used that yet, so you can add a d6 to that.
Okay, I think I need to. I'm doing that and adding 4. 4 plus 9 is 13.
Okay, you did 13.
Yep. Oh, and we have advantage, don't we?
Yes, you do.
Forgot about that. Good thing I'm paying attention. Oh, well, there's a 16 hit.
A 16?
Yep.
No, it doesn't.
If he uses the bardic inspiration 4 that he got for the 9, it would with 20.
Can I do that? Or do I? Can I?
Wait, you were using the bardic inspiration and you're rolling with advantage? Yeah, you add it to the highest die.
Oh, so then 20 would be the best one.
That hits you.
Okay. Thank you, Bard. Take 9.
All right. Another whistling hiss as more of its
And
essence gets...
Since it looks like whatever that lightning thing that the merchant just did to the thing, he appears to be sustaining that. So I'm going to reposition myself to be between it and Aravan.
Okay.
So it has to go through me. Now, if I can do that so that there's somebody else within 5 feet of me, that's great because I can protect them. But I'm trying to make sure it attacks me. Bring it, big fella. That's a lot of dice.
Yeah, well, they get attacks, but not many of them. All right, Bard, you are struck by one of the clawing mephits.
Am I still by Kenny by chance? Or no, never mind, I moved away.
It does 3 slashing to you. Kene, you are attacked with the humming sword for another 4.
Oh, good. Okay.
And Bard and they seem to be very interested in Bard, who is in the midst of them, and Kene, who is slashing into them.
All right. Next, I don't know when your NPC goes, Nate. You didn't give me a
yeah,
number.
I'll have. Yeah, sorry, I didn't. I'll have him go with these guys as well. I just forgot
Okay.
him last round. I didn't want to say like, well, he doesn't do anything.
Okay, so the last one then is Gambit.
Yeah, so he
After that.
does fire another bolt, but it misses.
All right, Gambit.
I'll do the same as I did last round and continue with my jeweler's tools on to finish off this gate here.
Okay, you did start to see something coalesce inside the gate, the little niche. There is a binding circlet there, and you saw a whole bunch of watery like mist gathering around it. But it seems to start to fade as you remove the rest of the pieces.
Okay, and that takes my full turn to finish that off, I think, doesn't it?
Yes, it will.
Okay, yeah.
Good call on smashing the circle.
Yeah. Going back to the top order, Silverthorn.
Okay, let's try shooting the one with the humming sword again. 22.
That will hit.
9.
9 damage? All right.
9 damage.
Okay, you can tell, again, there's this shaking of the form and the sword twitching in its hands. You're starting to smell like the crisp burn, like burning of flour as the lightning is arcing throughout this form and singeing all the flour in it. It's starting to smell like overcooked bread that's burnt. You baking them.
How many of the smaller methods are around me?
There are 3. They're kind of surrounding you, but like they're not like all on one side or something. But
Are they close enough I can't move away without giving attacks opportunity?
anywhere you move, one of them is going to want to attack you because you're disengaging with them. If you think about it, you're here, and there's one on either side of you, and then there's one over here. So any spot you move into is going to be leaving one of their spaces.
If I move to Kenny, whichever one I would have would get the attack of opportunity, I want to use Vicious Mockery on it first, so it has disadvantage on that attack. And then
Okay.
move. Can I do that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Then that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to raspberry it, blow my tongue at it.
Well, that's scything wit.
And
17 plus whatever its save would be. It passes.
All right.
All right, well, then I'm going to go ahead and move towards Kenny.
Okay. It attacks you, and you feel scraping along the back of your mail. But it does not get into you.
All right, and then I guess I'll use my last Bardic Inspiration on Kenny.
Okay. All right, next.
Yep. Everyone concentrates again. Ooh, better. 10 points of damage.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's
D12s.
D12's like, oh, how much could it be? 10. All right. Your lightning coiling snake, dragon, whatever you'd like to imagine it, chomps and destroys a section of it, and it lets out a piercing shriek, and powder shoots everywhere in a radius around it, and the sword clangs to the ground. And a final shriek, it disappears.
Awesome.
And also, you hear the ting ting in the silence after that blast of sound. You hear the ting ting and of the sword clanging to the ground, as well as a small binding circlet.
Ah, cool. All right.
Nice shooting.
Does that sword appear to be special of any kind, or just a standard something you'd see around?
It hummed when it was swung at people.
Yeah. It's a lightsaber. All right. That's what I thought of when you said that it hummed. So that was me. Sorry. Kenny, it's your turn.
Okay, so Bard has moved next to me now.
Yes, he has moved towards you. Yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to put myself between him and I guess everybody in between. I'm going to put myself to face the 3 other ones so that they have to go through me to get to other people.
Okay.
and I can provide the disadvantage if they attack other folks that are near me.
All right.
And I will swing at the closest one. Does a 17 hit?
Yes, it does.
Fantabulous. 7 points of damage.
All right. You strike it, and you see the powder from the flower fly everywhere, and in a loud boom sound.
That's what you get.
You are now coated in some flour.
Oh, I was from when the other thing.
Yes, you're more coated in more flour.
Better to be coated in that than that mud from the first time. So
Yes.
I'm good.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Okay, 2 of them are clawing at you, Kane, and one of them strikes you for 6 points of damage.
Crap.
And 2 of them claw at you, Bard, but do not seem to get through your armor, and Kane's assistance in defense.
Cool. All right. The RNPC, is he going this time?
Yes, he will go as well. He shoots and blasts another one, and it disappears.
Yay. Cool.
How many methods are left to deal with here?
I believe there's 2. 3? I think there's 3
I don't think
left.
I have anything that I can group them together with. I'll just move to the nearest one and attack, I guess.
Okay.
Does it still have fairy fire on it?
The one you can pick, well,
I
yeah,
will
the one
choose
by
to-
you. The one by you will have fairy fire, actually. Yes.
Okay, I will choose to attack that one.
The ones over by Bard and Kine don't.
Advantage, so 13 plus 4. The 17 hit.
That hits, yes.
7 damage.
All right. That one, again, is disrupted and explodes in a giant pop sound of shrieking wind, and you're coated with some flour.
Oh, not too bad.
Better than the ones that do
Better
terrible
than,
damage when they explode.
Previous fights.
Yeah.
I don't think a 5 is going to hit.
No, it definitely doesn't.
Well, I guess it all depends on what you were aiming at.
Oh, wait a second. No, that was a 9 instead of a 5. Probably still didn't work.
No, it still doesn't. They're not that easy to hit.
All right. Then it's
Oh, I forgot.
good.
With my bonus action, I transfer Hunter's Mark to it.
Okay.
Gonna go ahead and cast Vicious Mockery on it, and remind it that it's all by itself now. All its friends are gone.
It shrieks and looks worried and panicked.
Uh-oh.
You're talking
Takes
into
3
death.
damage.
It takes 3 damage. It starts to kind of come apart and seems like it shakes itself into oblivion. And then there's another cling cling sound as another circlet falls to the ground. Binding circlet. Alright, the dust, the literal flower begins to settle. And the creatures are no more.
And I transfer my Hunter's Mark to Aeson.
Well played. Squeeze all the
An
use
eye
out of
on
that.
him.
Well, if all the methods seem to be gone, I'm gonna hoist up Aeson onto his feet. I thought we tied up your hands so you couldn't flail spells at us, but you were helpful. If I would have known you were going to be helpful, I wouldn't have tied your hands. But you didn't
Oh.
seem to have any problem
People
getting around.
People tied his feet. I just heard people were tying his feet.
Oh,
Yeah, I just hit his feet because somebody said he might cast spells.
well, I was just worried he'd cast them at us, but he didn't. So, bully for us. And he proved himself to be handy in a fight. Now that he has the proper direction.
All right, so we are going to wrap it up for tonight. You have... Yes, between the flower and the fairy fire and other things, you definitely shut down the difficulty of that, that's for sure.
Good.
A great idea with the flower, Ervin.
That's what we're all about.
Yeah.
That went really well. All the
Yeah. So we're going to call it quits for this evening. We're going to leave it off at there, and pretty much we'll pick up exactly where we left off when we come back. And I'll calculate XP and hand it out to you very soon. That's going to round out this episode for episode 3, part 2 of The Hold of the Moridanes. Let me know what you think in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay nerdy.